I'm your host, as always, Preston Bailey. Here we are going to get into some more college football. We've seen the bowl games, the Cheez-It Bowl games, this bowl, that bowl, all the other bowl. A topic that I think is very interesting is the debate about college athletes not just getting paid. We'll get into that somewhat, touch on that a little bit, but do you have a problem with them opting out? So in the last few years, we've had guys like Christian McCaffrey, top 10 pick. Guys like Leonard Fournette, running back specifically. It would not bother me in the slightest if the great Trevor Lawrence opted out of his bowl game against Ohio State. Cam, I've got a feeling with your weird facial expressions. Let's hear it.
I completely disagree.
Well, I know you completely disagree, and let's hear it.
Look, if you're playing in some random bowl game that nobody cares about, the Mayonnaise Bowl that's going on right now, the Cheez-It Bowl, or all these other bowls that no one cares about, and you're going to be a top 10 pick, sit out. No one cares. No one's going to watch. No one cares. If you're going for a national championship, you owe it to your.
You don't. He's already got one. He's already got one. You owe it
to your teammates.
He's already got one.
Do his teammates?
He's already got one. Some of them do. Some, not all of them. Some of them do. Some of them have. Some of them in national championship. Let's go down this road.
That case in particular, Trevor Lawrence. If he shreds his knee up in this playoff game, he's still going to be the first overall pick. There's nothing that can happen unless he gets in trouble with the law that's going to prevent Trevor Lawrence from being the first overall pick. Nothing.
Here is the problem with your argument. You want to treat Trevor Lawrence like a professional. He's an amateur. He is supposed to act like a professional. And what a professional means, I'm not talking about, he has a suit and tie, he wears his briefcase, or brings his briefcase, he's a professional. No. When you are a professional, that means you get paid to do what you do, period. That's what that means in English. So the point with Trevor Lawrence, yes, it might make you feel good. It might make you feel good that he goes out there. Football is not like basketball. If this was basketball or baseball or volleyball or tennis, I'd say, yeah, the risk is minimal. I do not have it. Look, would I like it if I was his offensive lineman and I was his left tackle and he said, would I like it? No, but I would understand it. As a business standpoint, I would understand it. He doesn't just have to play in one game, correct? He's got to play in two if he wins, correct?
If he wins the first one, correct.
Did he have COVID a few weeks back?
Yes, he did.
Okay, so you tell me why he has to play because let me ask a question before you're already ready to go for Mike Tyson over here. You tell me why Trevor Lawrence has to play. Okay, we're in a different world now. 4 years ago, 5 years ago, I would have said, you're right. In the new world, with COVID, with all the shenanigans that are going on, he already had COVID a few weeks ago. He's risking a lot. Let's hear it, Cam. Let's hear why he owes it. Let's hear it.
Because 80% of his teammates aren't going to the NFL. This is the highlight of their lives, and he's going to ruin it for them.
Okay, but how does that affect Trevor Lawrence specifically?
He's going to be look. I know he doesn't have an agent yet, but I'm sure he already knows who he wants to hire. I'll say it again. There's nothing that can happen on the field, that will prevent him from being the first overall pick. Injury, bad performance, nothing. He is going to be the first overall pick unless he gets in trouble with the law. Period. Nothing that's going to happen on the field is going to change that. He's got the money guaranteed. 100%. The Jaguars are taking him first overall. You'll never convince me otherwise.
I'm telling you right now, exactly what you're saying is exactly why college athletes are never played. Everything that you're talking about, what I'm telling you is this. I get everything you're saying. Trevor Lawrence should play for his teammates, for this guy, the 80% of that team.
This is the last one of their lives.
This will their senior year. They're 22-year-old, 21, 22-year-old young men. This will be the greatest experience of their lives. Most of these guys, in a few months, within a year, they'll be working at Foot Locker. They'll be selling insurance. They'll be doing medial, random, middle of the road. Some of these guys will be great in CEOs, but many of these guys, 70%, 80%, you're right, will be rank and file guys. Work at the grocery store, wherever the job is. So I get it. And I get what you're saying. You want a guy that fights to the death and this and this. But what I'm telling you is I'm going a step further. If you really want to make a change, that's what I'm talking about. If you really, we keep hearing every year about this guy and the other guy, okay? When I remember Tim Tebow, I believe college athletes should be paid.
I agree.
I believe they should be paid. Okay, so then if Trevor Lawrence is getting paid $100,000 and they say, I tell you what, we'll give you $300,000 to play this game from the Cheez-It Bowl, from the Tostitos Bowl, from the Budweiser Bowl, from the whoever bowl, Chick-fil-A, then I'd say, okay, then you've got an extra motivation to play. I'm simply saying if these young men wanted to make a statement, if they wanted to make a stand, I say nobody plays the bowl game. Nobody.
Boycott.
Boycott. We talk about boycotting this. If you want to make real change, I'm not worried about Clemson. I could care less. I could care less if Clemson wins. It would not affect me at all. Okay? I'm simply saying if they wanted to make a real change, everybody should boycott. What are they going to do? Take away their scholarship?
They're seniors.
Okay, they're seniors, most of these guys. So I'm simply saying if you want to make a stand, make a stand. That now is the time to make a stand. It's not so many months ago, preseason, when it's 100 degrees, when it's this, when it's that, and the other. The 2-a-days, the 3-a-days, and so on and so forth. I'm simply saying I understand it. Do I like it? No, but I understand it. Let me ask you this, Cam. If you had a choice to be, let's say, look at this. You had a chance to go work for ESPN in a month.
Okay.
But if we did a stunt to where you could lose both of your legs, but you knew you were going to get $5 million regardless, would you do the stunt?
No.
That's my point. We love to hear Bruce Arians risk it for the biscuit. I'm simply saying on a risk reward. If you put this into the computer, risk versus reward, the risk is overwhelmingly. If you remember, Christian McCaffrey, he sat out, and Leonard Fournette sat out. Did they not?
Yeah. Yes, they did.
They were both top 10 picks, and those are top 10 picks at running back, which is even more rare.
Well, of course, that I didn't have a problem with. Those are running backs.
So those are okay because
it's the quarterback. If Trevor Lawrence sits out, Clemson is screwed.
Yeah, they would lose again like they did to Notre Dame a few weeks ago. You're right. What's going to happen, and you're probably right, Trevor Lawrence is probably going to play. Trevor Lawrence is probably going to win. They're probably going to be the team to beat. They're probably going to beat Alabama in the final and all those types of things. Okay, maybe Alabama wins, but I'm saying, maybe Trevor Lawrence wins this game. Look, I get it, okay? I'm simply saying I understand it.
Now, you're consistent on this because a couple of years ago when Zion busted through his shoe, we talked the next day and you said he should sit the rest of the year out.
Yeah, he should have because he risked a lot and he's still out of shape. He still has health problems. So, yeah, of course I'm consistent on this. Absolutely. And it's fun to debate and it's exciting to debate. But I'm simply saying, let me ask you this question. Let's ask you a better question. If Trevor Lawrence was your next door neighbor and you guys were best friends and you guys went to coffee every day together, right?
Yep.
And he said to you, okay, Cam, I'm probably going to get $50 million being the number one pick. I'm going to buy you a nice $500,000 house and this and that and the other, right?
Right.
But if he said to you, if I sit out, that's a guarantee for you. You're going to get your $500,000 house. You're going to get a new car and all that because you guys are best friends, right?
Yep.
But he says, if I play in this game, I could get injured, and that affects how much money I can give you and help you out because it'll be it's still going to be wealthy. He's still going to be wealthy. But it affects the family. It affects it comes down. Yes, he's still going to get millions of dollars. So his life will be great. It's those around him. He won't have the money to disperse to the charities, to the family. Would you still agree with that then? If it affects you?
In this particular case, Trevor Lawrence, yes.
Okay, so even if that means that
because he's going to be number one.
You're missing what I'm saying. If he doesn't get number one, I guarantee you, if he loses both of his legs, he will not be the number one pick.
Okay.
You ever heard of Joe Theismann? Joe Theismann was sacked by Lawrence Taylor, and Joe Theismann said to Lawrence years later, Lawrence, You broke both of my legs. Lawrence Taylor says, hey, baby, I don't do things halfway. Okay? So that's what I'm saying. You have to look through all those scenarios. I think it just bothers you that he would be flexing. I don't have a problem. If you're in a position of power and you flex, you have that right. You may not like it. You may not like it. It may not feel good. It won't feel good. If he sits out, you'll be like, ugh. But if he comes on next year and he does go with the Jacksonville Jaguars and he wins 9 or 10 games, yes, the Clemson alumni will be upset. Big deal. Who cares? Why is he worried about Clemson alumni? Yes, you want your friends and this and that. At the end of the day, Christian McCaffrey was paid the highest paid running back of all time.
Correct. It's true.
To my knowledge, there hasn't been too many quarterbacks to sit out, correct?
No, there hasn't been. You're right.
So, like and subscribe to the channel. That's what makes it exciting. Good takes. Anything else you want to add to that?
No, I think we've said our piece.
There we go. Like and subscribe.